Chapter 41. Cultivation Breakthrough, Demon Saints Cultivation Technique. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Entangled by the major Kiliacosm thunderstorm, Yi Sanlang was in utter despair. He hurriedly turned his head and shouted, "I admit defeat. I surrender. Don't kill me." Han Ju used the six-paths soul absorption technique and sucked his nascent soul into his hand. The six-paths spirit energy wrapped around Yi Sanlang's nascent soul like invisible shackles, immobilizing him. Han Ju turned around. He first returned to the battleground and found Yi Sanlang's storage ring before returning to his cave abode. The black hell chicken opened its eyes and looked curiously at the tiny figure in Han Ju's hand. Yi Sanlang was terrified. His tiny nascent soul trembled. Han Ju placed him on the ground and sat on the bed, looking down at him. "What's the Raincoat sect's intention?" Han Ju asked. Yi Sanlang gritted his teeth as he replied, "Annex the Jade Pure sect and capture their geniuses together. After the Jade Pure sect is destroyed, these geniuses have nowhere to go and can only join the Raincoat sect." Han Ju continued to ask, "Is this only against the Jade Pure sect or the entire cultivation world?" "The entire cultivation world. You're very daring. Is there a soul formation cultivator in your sect?" "Of course." Yi Sanlang answered truthfully. In the face of death, he couldn't care less. "Is there anyone at the Void Amalgamation realm?" Han Ju asked with narrowed eyes. Yi Sanlang said helplessly, "That's a legendary realm. At least, I've never heard of anyone achieving it in the sect. However, our leader is already at the peak of the soul formation realm. If the Raincoat sect is so strong, why is it hiding in the dark? No matter how strong you are, you can't fight against the entire cultivation world directly." The painful lesson from 1,000 years ago made our leader very cautious. "Where are the geniuses of the Jade Pure sect imprisoned?" "Well, I really don't know. I'm just an ordinary deacon." An ordinary deacon who was at the 7th level of the nascent soul realm. Han Ju felt that the Raincoat sect was very dangerous. It was too scary. Yi Sanlang said cautiously, "Senior, please let me go. I won't do it again. I swear, I won't come to the Jade Pure sect again. Yi Sanlang has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points: 6 stars. Irresolvable except for death." Han Ju raised his eyebrows. "Young man, your path has gotten narrower." Han Ju raised his hand at lightning speed and the unparalleled finger divine sword shot out, directly killing Yi Sanlang's nascent soul. The black hell chicken shuddered upon seeing this. This was the first time it saw Han Ju kill the enemy. After Yi Sanlang died, Han Ju began to inspect his storage ring. As expected of a 7th level nascent soul realm expert, the resources in his storage ring were truly abundant. This storage ring was very big. The spirit stones piled up into small hills. There were various equipment, cultivation technique manuals, medicinal pills, and many other treasures. Han Ju first looked at the cultivation technique manuals. They were all cultivation techniques and spell techniques. He didn't like them. As for equipment, they were only used by fiendish cultivators. Han Ju started to check the pills. Soon, he discovered a pill that could increase his cultivation level to the nascent soul realm. 6-path spirit energy entered the pill and he felt a surging spirit chi emanating from it. Han Ju immediately started to consume it. 2 years later, Han Ju broke through to the 6th level of the nascent soul realm. The black hell chicken had already become a majestic rooster. Its intelligence had also finally reached the level of a 7 or 8-year-old child. It could speak in the human language now. It was worth mentioning that when the black hell chicken cultivated a trace of demonic power, it actually inherited a demonic cultivation technique. It was very surprised. Han Ju understood that this was the cultivation technique of the demon saint in his previous life. That was good, too. Han Ju didn't need to teach it too much. Li Qingzi came to visit him again and talked about the Raincoat sect. Recently, the Raincoat sect seemed to have vanished and no longer targeted the Jade Pure sect. Li Qingzi finally found out the location where the geniuses of the Jade Pure sect were imprisoned. He wanted to ask Han Ju for help. Han Ju said seriously, perhaps this is a ploy to lure me away from the sect. Once I leave, if the Raincoat sect comes, can you stop them? After all, even a nascent soul expert can only be a deacon in the Raincoat sect. Li Qingzi was silent. That was very possible. In that case, even if he saved those geniuses, it would be useless. Then, I'll do it myself. Elder Han, I'll leave the Jade Pure sect to you, Li Qingzi said solemnly. Han Ju nodded. Unless we encounter a void amalgamation expert, no one can take down the Jade Pure sect. Li Qingzi beamed. It seemed that Han Ju had become stronger during this period. Li Qingzi left in satisfaction. Han Ju thought for a moment and started the simulation trial. He set Duan Tongtian's cultivation level to the 9th level of the soul formation realm. Han Ju barely fought to a draw. This caused him to panic. One had to know that the simulation trial could only set cultivation levels. The difference between the 9th level of the soul formation realm and the 1st level of the soul formation realm was also very huge. When Duan Tongtian truly cultivated to the 9th level of the soul formation realm, his strength would definitely be stronger than him in the simulation trial. Moreover, Duan Tongtian had only broken through to the soul formation realm because of Shao Yi. He was a little weak. I have to break through to the soul formation realm as soon as possible. Otherwise, I won't be able to sleep well. Han Ju thought silently. He clicked on interpersonal relationships and checked his friend's status. Your disciple, Yang Tiandong, was attacked by the Raincoat sect, X29, your friend, Zhou Fan, was attacked by the Raincoat sect, X48. His poor disciple was still being beaten. Han Ju was not too worried. After being attacked so many times, he was still alive. What did that mean? The Raincoat sect truly loved talents and couldn't bear to kill them. Could it be that the Raincoat sect wasn't part of the demonic path? Han Ju thought silently. Then, he continued cultivating. Dear disciple, hold on. Your master is still cultivating diligently. When he's confident enough, he'll definitely save you. In a dark pavilion, 4 men in raincoats sat around a table. They all wore straw hats that hid their faces. One of them asked in a low voice, why isn't Yi Sanlang back yet? The others followed suit. Did something happen? Yi Sanlang is an expert at the 7th level of the nascent soul realm. Other than the deity-slaying elder, no one in the Jade Pure sect can hold him back, not to mention that there are spies coordinating inside and out. Who is that spy? I'm not sure. Only Yi Sanlang knows about it. There's only one contact between each spy and the sect master. Sect master is too cautious. In my opinion, it would be better to just trample over the Jade Pure sect. Also, those disciples of the Jade Pure sect should be killed if they aren't giving in. The 4 of them started to complain about their sect master. In their opinion, although the deity-slaying elder of the Jade Pure sect was strong, he was no match for the sect master. Moreover, other than the sect master, there were other soul formation experts in the Raincoat sect. Bang! The door was suddenly kicked open. A golden-robed man strode into the room. His golden robes were embroidered with tigers and leopards, and he wore a dagger. Like silver-blue jade crown. He had a handsome face, bright eyes, and a sense of pride between his brows. The 4 men in raincoats slapped the table and got up. How dare you? One of them pulled out a knife from his waist and prepared to slash at the golden-robed man. The golden-robed man's gaze turned cold, and a terrifying pressure erupted. The entire pavilion shook violently, and the 4 men in raincoats were so frightened that they didn't dare to move. One of them gritted his teeth and asked, "Who are you?" The golden-robed man said expressionlessly, "I'm Huang Jihao of the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. I heard that you are from the Raincoat sect. It just so happens that I want to challenge the Raincoat sect. Tell me, where is the sect master?" Huang Jihao. The 4 of them trembled even harder. Recently, Huang Jihao's fame had become too great. One of the men in raincoats suddenly said, "If we say it, we'll definitely die. However, if you challenge the Jade Pure sect first, we can give you the location of the Raincoat sect." Chapter 42. Huang Jihao's Challenge. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Challenge the Jade Pure sect. Huang Jihao frowned and coldly said, "Such a desolate sect is not challenging at all." His tone was filled with disdain for the Jade Pure sect. A Raincoat sect member hurriedly said, "Recently, a deity-slaying elder appeared in the Jade Pure sect. He killed a soul formation expert with one strike. His strength is unfathomable." Hearing this, Huang Jihao couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. "I've fought with the sect master and great-grand elder of the Jade Pure sect. Their strength is average, and I've never heard of this deity-slaying elder. Don't lie to me." Huang Jihao spoke in a low voice. His terrifying aura didn't diminish in the slightest. "I dare not lie. It's true. You can go out and ask around. The viridescent nether cult was destroyed because of this person." The other Raincoat sect members said anxiously. The 4 of them combined were not Huang Jihao's match. They were afraid that he would attack them. Huang Jihao's eyes flickered. "Tell me the location of the Raincoat sect first. I'll challenge the Jade Pure sect first, then the Raincoat sect." The 4 Raincoat sect members looked at each other. In order to survive, they finally compromised. After a while, Huang Jihao left. The 4 Raincoat sect members let out a long breath and collapsed onto their chairs. "How strong is this guy?" One of them gritted his teeth. Another person scolded. "It's not important. What's important is that I think there's something wrong with this inn. Where's the soundproofing and divine sense isolation?" Jade Pure sect. 2 years had passed since Li Qingzi left. Han Ju was still at the 6th level of the nascent soul realm. With the help of Yi Sanlang's pills, he was already close to the 7th level. The black hell chicken was already half a meter tall, but Han Ju had tested its skeletal age. It was still far from maturing. One fine day, Chang Yuer came to visit. It had been many years since she had last seen the black hell chicken. She couldn't help but walk over and touch it. "Itchy. Itchy." The black hell chicken resisted and retreated. Hearing its childish voice, Chang Yuer was even more interested. Han Ju couldn't help but say, "Stop touching it. This is my precious mount. If you hurt it, can you afford to compensate me?" "TCH, so be it if I have to compensate you. Using a chicken as a mount, you're really something." Chang Yuer pouted. Although she said that, her body was still very obedient. She turned around and came in front of him. She sized up Han Ju and smiled. "Junior Han, I find your face pleasing to the eye every time I see it. I wonder how outstanding your parents are." "Parents? Oh. They were nothing extraordinary." Han Ju smiled in his heart. All these years, Han Ju would occasionally think of his parents in this life. More than 100 years had passed. If they were still mortals, they would have been long dead. That was good. It saved him a lot of trouble. Han Ju's parents in this life were not very close. When they abandoned Han Ju and fled, their blood ties ended. If it were his parents in his previous life, they would definitely not give up on him. Chang Yuer continued, "I heard that Elder Guan is coming back. Have you heard of Elder Guan? He and our master entered the Jade Pure sect together. However, 300 years ago, he offended the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. In order to avoid suspicion, the Grand Elder secretly sent him out of the Great Yen dynasty. Half a year ago, he used a spell to say that he was coming back and wanted to fight for the position of sect master. Han Ju shook his head. He had never heard of such a thing. He had never heard of such a person, either. It's said that Elder Guan likes our master very much. He might become our master's Dao companion, Chang Yuer continued. Han Ju shrugged. He was dreaming. Fairy Shi Xian didn't allow her disciples to become Dao companions. How could she break the rules herself? He asked, is that Elder Guan very strong? Chang Yuer nodded and said, it's said that he obtained an opportunity outside the Great Yen and has already become a soul formation cultivator. This time, he has returned to lead the Jade Pure sect to surpass the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. The elders are all very happy. With one more soul formation cultivator in the Jade Pure sect, we will have more confidence in dealing with the Raincoat sect. The Great Grand Elder is also very happy, but the sect master is out and doesn't know about this. Han Ju couldn't help but mourn for Li Qingzi. He had worked so hard for so many years, only to lose his position. Just as Han Ju was about to ask more about Elder Guan, a line of words suddenly appeared in front of him. Detected bearer of Tier Providence, checking its origin. Han Ju was stunned. Another bearer of Tier Providence. Was the Jade Pure sect really so lucky? Why was it that there was always someone with a powerful background? Han Ju hurriedly checked. Huang Jihao. Third level of the Soul Formation Realm, an external elder of the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. Born with the heart of the sword, he has an extremely high comprehension of the sword Dao. Because of his unparalleled aptitude from a young age, he has developed a haughty attitude. In order to become stronger, he can give up everything. Huang Jihao. F***CK. Why was this fellow here? Was he going to challenge the Jade Pure sect? Han Ju had a headache. Couldn't he just cultivate properly? A choice notification appeared in front of Han Ju. The Jade Pure sect faces Huang Jihao's challenge. You have the following choices. 1. Order the entire sect to encircle and annihilate Huang Jihao and obtain victory. Your name will shake the world and you will obtain a fire attribute cultivation technique manual. 2. Secretly repel Huang Jihao without causing too much of a commotion. You can obtain a numinous treasure. Han Ju chose the second option. Being high-profile was not his style. Moreover, if he openly defeated Huang Jihao, the Vermilion Bird Sword sect would definitely become enemies with the Jade Pure sect. Han Ju had yet to figure out Huang Jihao's ranking in the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. Even if he was the strongest, if the Vermilion Bird Sword sect and the Raincoat sect joined forces, the Jade Pure sect would not be able to handle it. The Jade Pure sect is still too weak. Han Ju sighed. He looked at Chang Yuer and said, go back first. I have something to do. What is it? It's not convenient to say. Tch, Chang Yuer curled her lips and left. She was still chatting happily but had been asked to leave. Anyone would feel disappointed. After Chang Yuer left, Han Ju began to use the simulation trial to search for Huang Jihao's location. At this moment, Huang Jihao was less than 20 kilometers away from the Jade Pure sect. He was walking very slowly. Han Ju didn't move immediately. Hold on. Let's have a simulation trial battle. Han Ju's consciousness entered the simulation trial. 5 minutes later, he ended the simulation trial. He frowned. He's not bad at all. Han Ju took a deep breath and continued the simulation trial. He couldn't insta-kill the guy. This guy is only at the third level of the soul formation realm. Han Ju changed his fighting style. 2 minutes later, the simulation ended. Han Ju frowned again and muttered, as expected of the innate heart of the sword. He can actually last 2 minutes against me. Han Ju was vexed. The battle commotion was too loud. 2 minutes was enough to attract many people. The opponent was not easy to deal with. He had no choice. Even if it was difficult, he still had to go. When the battle reached the Jade Pure sect, it would truly be earth shattering. In the forest, Huang Jihao slowly walked forward. His expression was very calm, not the least bit nervous about the upcoming battle. A figure suddenly appeared in front of him. It was Han Ju. He was wearing the Taoist robe of the Jade Pure sect and his bearing was graceful. He was obviously not a mortal. Huang Jihao glanced at him. 9th level of Foundation Establishment Realm. So weak. But he was handsome. Huang Jihao has a favorable impression of you. Current favorability. 2 stars, a line of words suddenly appeared in front of Han Ju. He was stunned. What the hell? Chapter 43. 6th grade defensive numinous treasure, severely injured elder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why did he suddenly have a favorable impression of me? Han Ju frowned. Things were getting harder. It was difficult for him to do anything to someone who liked him. Huang Jihao walked in front of Han Ju and said, "Brat, I have an affinity with you. Do you want to take me as your master? It won't be difficult for you to reach the nascent soul realm in the future." To Foundation Establishment cultivators, the nascent soul realm was the biggest dream. He didn't believe that Han Ju wouldn't be moved. Affinity. Han Ju had a strange look. What sort of affinity could there be between men? Could it be? Han Ju shivered and felt goosebumps. He took a step back. Who are you? Why are you here at the Jade Pure sect? Han Ju asked in a low voice. Huang Jihao teased, "I'm Huang Jihao of the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. Have you heard of me? I came to the Jade Pure sect this time to challenge your deity-slaying elder." Han Ju asked, "Why challenge the deity-slaying elder and not the sect master? Your sect master and former sect master were defeated by me long ago. Only the deity-slaying elder has the right to make me fight. I originally couldn't be bothered to deal with you and wanted to challenge the Raincoat sect. However, the people of the Raincoat sect insisted that I deal with the deity-slaying elder before telling me their location." Huang Jihao spoke very casually, causing Han Ju's hatred for the Raincoat sect to soar to 6 stars. Han Ju asked, "Are there many soul formation experts in the Raincoat sect? How's their sect master's strength?" "There are indeed many soul formation cultivators. After all, they have thousands of years of foundation. As for their leader, he's very mysterious. I'm not sure either. What are your chances of challenging the Raincoat sect? Why are you asking so many questions? Are you going to acknowledge me as your master or not?" Huang Jihao's favorability towards you has decreased. Current favorability. 1 star, Huang Jihao looked impatient. Han Ju was amused. "I'm just asking you a few more questions, but your good impression of me is already half gone." "Great. Then, I won't be soft-hearted against you." Han Ju directly took out the Qilin sword and said, "If you can receive 1 strike from me, I will acknowledge you as my master." Huang Jihao was also amused. "Kid, have you never heard of my name? I'm asking you, do you dare to face my sword?" "All right. I'll take your strike. If you can injure me in the slightest, I'll turn around and leave. I won't disturb the Jade Pure sect anymore." "You said it." "Of course." Huang Jihao was proud and arrogant. After confirming that Han Ju was only at the 9th level of the Foundation Establishment realm, he didn't take his words to heart at all. Han Ju suddenly attacked. The 6-path spirit energy in his body erupted like a volcano and poured into the Qilin sword. Huang Jihao's eyes widened. This spirit energy. Crap. Huang Jihao hurriedly raised his hands and circulated the surging spirit energy within his body. Sword light flashed, and a black sword chi cut through the forest. It soared into the sky and cut the sea of clouds in half. It was a spectacular sight. Then, the ground shook and dust flew. Huang Jihao gritted his teeth and used all his strength to block the sword chi of the heavenly punishment ghost deity sword. The terrifying sword chi forced him to retreat. The protective shield formed by his spirit energy cracked like glass. Not good. He couldn't block it. Huang Jihao cursed under his breath and hurriedly leaped up. The moment he did so, Han Ju's sword chi invaded his body, causing him to spit out a mouthful of blood. His body also leaped thousands of feet away. The sword aura swept out and crushed the trees along the way. A huge ravine appeared on the ground. It was unfathomable, like a narrow valley. Huang Jihao stopped and looked at Han Ju in shock. What sword technique is this? No. It's a mystical power. The famous Huang Jihao shouldn't go back on his word, right? Han Ju looked up and asked expressionlessly. Huang Jihao has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points. For stars, Han Ju didn't panic. He stared at Huang Jihao. Huang Jihao trembled in anger. He wanted to kill Han Ju, but he had already said that, so he would not slap his own face. In addition, Han Ju's sword chi was indeed powerful. If they really fought to the death, he might not be able to win. He gritted his teeth and asked, "Who are you? You came to find me and you ask who I am." Huang Jihao laughed in anger. This was the deity-slaying elder of the Jade Pure sect. I knew it. He lives up to his reputation. Humph. Although I won't come to the Jade Pure sect anymore, I'll challenge you again after you leave. With that, Huang Jihao left. Han Ju smiled disdainfully and thought to himself, wait for me to leave the Jade Pure sect. Can you wait your whole life? He turned around and left. Not long after, the elders of the Jade Pure sect rushed over. When they saw the scene of the sword chi slashing past, they couldn't help but feel alarmed. However, they guessed that it was Han Ju. Otherwise, the battle would not have stopped. Is there another powerful enemy? After leaving the Jade Pure sect, Huang Jihao stood on his flying sword, feeling indignant as he healed his injuries. Damn it, how dare you trick me? Huang Jihao was about to go mad. If Han Ju had revealed his identity from the start, how could he have been careless? If he had been on guard, how could he not have taken the blow? All right. He couldn't block it regardless. But he wouldn't have agreed so easily. Sigh. I was careless. Just as Huang Jihao was in depression, a figure appeared in front of him, blocking his path. Who are you? Why did you come from the Jade Pure sect? The newcomer was a cultivator in green. He was handsome and imposing. He carried a sword case on his back with 4 swords inside. Huang Jihao was in an extremely bad mood. He immediately snorted. What does that have to do with you? Scram. The green-robed cultivator laughed. How dare you be so impolite to me, aren't you afraid of death? Who do you think you are? Then, let's fight. Let's see who's the real deal. You're courting death. Boom. Back in the cave abode. Han Ju had just sat down when 2 lines of words appeared in front of him. You secretly defeated Huang Jihao and obtained a numinous treasure. Congratulations on obtaining a 6th grade numinous treasure, Burning Fiend Bell, Burning Fiend Bell. A 6th grade defensive numinous treasure. It can defend against all attacks below the void amalgamation realm. After injecting spirit chi, the bell body will increase in weight as spirit chi is injected until it becomes as heavy as a mountain. What a treasure. It could defend against all attacks below the void amalgamation realm. Great. Han Ju took out the Burning Fiend Bell happily and sized it up carefully. The bell was black and exuded an ancient and evil aura. Han Ju immediately started to drip blood on it. An hour later, he played with the burning fiend bell. After successfully bonding with it, the burning fiend bell was like his arm. When it enveloped him, he felt extremely safe. Wearing the golden cicada's mystic divine robe and covered with the burning fiend bell, he could dominate everything under the heavens. Han Ju was extremely proud. Then, he continued cultivating. The next morning, Fairy Shi Xian came to visit him. This was the first time she took the initiative to look for Han Ju. Han Ju stood up. Yue told you about my senior, Guan Yugang. He returned yesterday, but he encountered Huang Jihao near the Jade Pure sect and was severely injured. Fairy Shi Xian stopped in front of Han Ju and said directly. The fellow who said he wanted to be the sect master has just arrived and he's already beaten up. Han Ju couldn't help but mourn for him. Guan Yugang was a little weak. Huang Jihao was already injured, yet he still couldn't defeat him under such circumstances. Such a person wanted to become Dao companions with his master. Chapter 44. Immortal Domain Meeting, 10 Soul Formation Cultivators. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How unfortunate. Han Ju sighed. What else could he say when Fairy Shi Xian mentioned this? Fairy Shi Xian stared at him and asked, Senior Guan said that he happened to encounter Huang Jihao coming out of the Jade Pure sect. A forest near the sect was destroyed. It's suspected to be some kind of sword chi. Did Huang Jihao want to challenge our Jade Pure sect but was repelled by you? Han Ju nodded and said, yes. Fairy Shi Xian sighed. I didn't expect the famous Huang Jihao to be defeated by a junior like you. Han Ju gestured for her to sit down. Fairy Shi Xian sat on a nearby chair and continued, I came to find you because I hope that you can help me suppress Senior Guan. Suppress Guan Yugang. Han Ju was confused. Sect Master might not be as powerful as Senior Guan, but he has done his best for the sect. For the Jade Pure sect's sake, he even delayed his cultivation. It would be a pity to take him down from the position of sect master. Besides, this Senior Guan of mine is only seeking revenge and not really considering the sect. When his injuries are healed, I'll let him challenge you first. If he can defeat you, he can become sect master. How about it? Fairy Shi Xian said softly, her tone and gaze unchanged. Han Ju hesitated and said, yes, but it's best to quietly carry out this battle. If it spread in the sect, it will definitely spread in the cultivation world. I don't want to be in the limelight too much. Otherwise, it will attract endless trouble. Previously, I helped the Jade Pure sect deal with the viridescent nether cult and made a name for myself. This is also why Huang Jihao came. Of course. This will save Senior Guan some face. Han Ju nodded. Fairy Shi Xian suddenly looked at the black hell chicken in the corner and asked in surprise, how did you raise this chicken? It looks extraordinary. The black hell chicken raised its head and snorted. I'm a phoenix. Master told me that I will become a phoenix sooner or later. Fairy Shi Xian smiled. A chicken wanted to become a phoenix. I got it from a farmer from the sect. It's quite boring to cultivate normally. It's not bad to have company, Han Ju explained with a smile. He said nothing about the black hell chicken's origins. Even if he did, who would believe him? The difference between a chicken and a phoenix was like that between a snake and a dragon. Fairy Shi Xian looked at him again and said, the immortal domain meeting that happens once every 100 years is about to begin. I have the immortal domain token and can give it to you. This meeting is a rare event, you can obtain all the equipment, pills, treasures, and even cultivation techniques you want there, as long as you have enough resources. Immortal domain meeting. It sounded very impressive and lively. If this was in a novel, it would definitely be a grand occasion for the protagonist to show off. If he wasn't careful, he might gain new enemies. He couldn't go. Han Ju refused politely. Thank you for your kind intentions, Master. I just want to enter seclusion. With my potential, I don't need to go out and take risks for the time being. Fairy Shi Xian nodded. She then stood up and left. Han Ju stood up to send her off. After Fairy Shi Xian left, he returned to the bed and started cultivating. Immortal Domain Meeting. TSK, when I reach the Mahayana realm, I can go take a look. Han Ju thought silently as he circulated his chi. The Vermilion Bird Sword Sect. As a righteous sect in the cultivation world of the Great Yen dynasty, there were nearly 10,000 disciples in the Vermilion Bird Sword Sect. Most of them cultivated in the way of the sword. The strongest sword cultivators in the Great Yen dynasty were all from the Vermilion Bird Sword Sect. Within the sect master's chambers, Huang Jihao sat on a mat, his expression extremely ugly. Seated at the head of the table was the sect master of the Vermilion Bird Sword Sect, Tang Han. Tang Han looked to be in his 30s or 40s. He was also considered handsome. Under his sharp brows, his eyes were sharp. A sword floated on both sides of him. He also exuded an extremely sharp aura. You couldn't even take a single strike from him. Tang Han asked with a frown. Huang Jihao gritted his teeth. Although I don't want to admit it, it's true. His spirit energy is extremely overbearing. This is the first time I've encountered such spirit energy. It's not a common attribute, nor is it a rare spirit root. I can't say for sure. Recalling the scene when he faced the heavenly punishment ghost deity sword, he couldn't help but shiver. Also what? This person is extremely good. Looking. In terms of looks, no one in our Vermilion Bird Sword sect can compare to him. Is that important? Well, not that important. Huang Jihao sighed. For some reason, there was a hint of pity in his tone. Tang Han frowned. He didn't expect the Jade Pure sect to have such a figure. In the outside world, Huang Jihao represented the highest combat power of the Vermilion Bird Sword sect. Although he felt that he was stronger than Huang Jihao, he was not that much stronger. Huang Jihao continued, that's right, the Raincoat sect has appeared and is still targeting the Jade Pure sect. After I recover, I plan to challenge them. Tang Han nodded and said, although the Raincoat sect started to decline 1,000 years ago, its foundation can't be underestimated. Previously, the great grand elder of the Jade Pure sect came to me, hoping that the righteous path would join forces to fight against the Raincoat sect. I didn't agree. If that person doesn't die, the Raincoat sect can't perish. Who is that person? The leader of the Raincoat sect. This person was like you when he was young. He was high-spirited and by chance, he fell into the demonic path and became the leader of the Raincoat sect. I heard from Grandmaster that in his generation, the leader of the Raincoat sect was the strongest. This time, you can test his strength, but don't be reckless. If you can't defeat him, quickly retreat. Don't worry. I may be arrogant, but I'm not stupid. Of course. 7 years passed quickly after Fairy Shi Xian visited him. Han Ju's cultivation level had reached the 7th level of the nascent soul realm, and he was already chasing after the 8th. Besides training, Han Ju had been paying attention to other people's situations through the interpersonal relationships function in emails. After Yang Tiandong and Zhou Fan were caught by the Raincoat sect, their cultivation levels increased. In the past few years, they had not been attacked by the Raincoat Saint either. It seemed like they had given in. However, their identities didn't become disciples of the Raincoat sect. Han Ju guessed that they were only pretending to give in. Li Qingzi, on the other hand, was frequently attacked by the Raincoat sect and was frequently injured. This sect master was really working too hard. For the sake of his disciples, he had been running around everywhere. He was injured all the time and would continue to be injured when he recovered. In addition, Guan Yugang had never come to find Han Ju. Han Ju could understand. Even Huang Jihao was no match for him. How could this fellow dare to challenge him? It was worth mentioning that the Black Hell chicken had grown faster and faster recently. Its strength was already equivalent to an 8th level Qi refinement realm cultivator. Not to mention a chicken, even if it was a cultivator, very few could achieve this speed. The more it grew, the more curious it became about the outside world. Hanju had to brainwash it. It's very dangerous outside. Many people want to eat you. You must be invincible before you can leave. Otherwise, you will definitely die. Even I, your master, don't dare to leave either. As time passed, the Black Hell chicken no longer dared to think about leaving. It only wanted to cultivate. One fine day, Li Qingzi visited again. Hanju noticed that his aura was weak and his expression was not good. It seemed that he was seriously injured this time. Li Qingzi gritted his teeth and said, "Something terrible has happened. Maple Leaf Valley has been destroyed by the Raincoat sect. The next target is most likely our Jade Pure sect." Before Maple Leaf Valley's sect master passed away, he sent a message to me. He said that there are 10 soul formation cultivators in the Raincoat sect, and they are enough to sweep through the cultivation world of the Great Yen dynasty. When Hanju heard that, he asked, "Then, why aren't we running?" Li Qingzi was stunned. Chapter 45. Innate Tao Heart, attention from the Demon Lord. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why aren't we running? Is this something you should say? Li Qingzi roared in his heart. The reason why he came to find Hanju was to let him know so that he could prepare. He didn't expect Hanju to want to leave directly. Li Qingzi said gloomily, "Where can we escape to? There are so many disciples. Even if we escape, we have to escape from the Great Yen cultivation world. However, if we go to other cultivation worlds, those sects will definitely not let us have a foothold and will only swallow us. The Jade Pure sect will still perish." Hanju frowned. He wanted to say that it was fine if the Jade Pure sect perished, as long as they were still alive. The Jade Pure sect is in danger of being annihilated. You have the following choices. 1. Immediately run away. You will be hunted down by the Raincoat sect as you wander the world. You can obtain equipment. 2. Protect the sect. People only live once, you cannot retreat forever. After defeating the Raincoat sect, you can obtain a numinous treasure, a sword technique manual, and an egg of a divine beast of providence. Hanju didn't make a decision immediately but thought carefully. Even if he escaped, where could he run to? After exterminating the Jade Pure sect, the Raincoat sect would definitely continue to attack and sweep through the cultivation world of the Great Yen dynasty unless they joined them. Join if he couldn't win. This was no longer keeping a low profile, it was cowardice. Why don't we wait and see? If we can't beat him, we can still escape. He wore the golden cicada's mystic divine robe and held the burning fiend bell. With the wind god technique, how could he not escape? Hanju asked, "When will the Raincoat sect come?" 10 years at most. It will take them time to clean up the mess in Maple Leaf Valley. Hanju sighed and said, "Sect Master, why is our Jade Pure sect being targeted one after another? I thought that our sect was very strong." Li Qingzi was embarrassed and blushed. He gritted his teeth and said, "The Jade Pure sect is indeed powerful, but the strongest one, who is also the founding ancestor, went to search for the path of becoming a land deity. He left for 500 years without any news. If he was here, how would they dare to attack us? 1,000 years ago, in the final battle against the Raincoat sect, the founding ancestor was the greatest contributor." Hanju raised his eyebrows. In other words, the Raincoat sect is seeking revenge. Li Qingzi nodded helplessly. To mortals, 1,000 years was extremely long, but in the cultivation world, it was not. Especially to a sect, Li Qingzi was the 3rd generation sect master of the Jade Pure sect and his master, the great grand elder, was the 2nd. The founder left behind a treasure to contact him. The great grand elder and I have already used it. I wonder if the founder can sense it. If he can return, the raincoat sect will be nothing to worry about. At that time, we will definitely become the strongest sect in the great yen cultivation world. Elder Han, we have to grit our teeth and endure this. As long as we can endure it, we won't have any threats in the future. You can cultivate in peace. The founder might even be able to teach you the cultivation techniques from the land of immortals. Li Qingzi grabbed his hand and said in a serious tone. Han Ju almost had goosebumps. He quickly pulled his hand back and sighed. All right, I'll face the raincoat sect with you. But let me say this first. If I can't win, I can only run. Li Qingzi nodded solemnly and said, if we really can't win, I won't let you die with us. The two of them chatted for a while more before Li Qingzi left. Han Ju wanted to ask him to take some pills to help him increase his cultivation, but Li Qingzi awkwardly said that the Jade Pure sect did not have any pills suitable for nascent soul realm cultivation. The Jade Pure sect lacked alchemists. Han Ju turned to look at the black hell chicken and said, do you see? It's really dangerous. Even if we don't cause trouble, there are enemies who want to kill us everywhere. The black hell chicken nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. Master, are you confident? No, Shall we run quietly? Not bad, you've already received my teachings. Really? We'll wait for a while. That day, Han Ju came to the inner sect and bought a beast-taming bag. It was convenient to bring the black hell chicken along like this. After leaving the pavilion, just as he was about to return, a line of words suddenly appeared before his eyes. Detected bearer of Tier Providence, checking its origin. Another bearer of Tier Providence. The Jade Pure sect was truly a Providence magnet. Han Ju immediately chose to check. Xian Qingjun. Third level of the Foundation Establishment Realm. Her true identity is the Demon Lord's mortal body. She was born with an innate Tao heart and is extremely talented. 800 years ago, the Demon Lord wanted to surpass the Tao and ascend. Therefore, she created a mortal body. The main body is sealed in the depths of the essence soul. The mortal body travels the world and experiences the various aspects of life, consolidating the Tao heart. There are traces of her everywhere in the 9 heavens and 10 earths. 3 years ago, she joined the Jade Pure sect and has been hiding there since. Demon Lord. That was impressive. She had an innate Tao heart even as a demon. What kind of reverse cliché was this? Han Ju was speechless. He followed the system's instructions and saw Xian Qingjun. This woman wore the Taoist robe of the Jade Pure sect. Her figure was average and she was not outstandingly beautiful from the back. When she turned her head, Han Ju assessed her. Her looks were average. She was a very ordinary female disciple. If one scanned the streets, they would easily pass her by without noticing her. Xian Qingjun stood by the street, watching people argue. 2 male disciples fought over a beautiful female disciple. Should I seduce the Demon Lord? She's about to ascend and is at least a Mahayana cultivator. Han Ju thought silently. Then, he shook his head. Forget it. He wanted to avoid trouble. Han Ju turned around and left. At this time, he didn't notice Xian Qingjun glancing at him. Xian Qingjun has a favorable impression of you. Current favorability. 1 star. Han Ju paused, his face full of question marks. What the hell? He turned around and met Xian Qingjun's gaze. Crap. The Demon Lord was paying attention to him. Han Ju panicked for some reason and smiled politely at her. Xian Qingjun's favorability towards you has increased. Current favorability. 2 stars, Han Ju hurriedly left. Xian Qingjun turned around and followed him. After leaving the inner sect city, Han Ju immediately used the Wind God technique and returned quickly. After returning to the Khanate cave abode, Han Ju sat on the bed in a panic. I hope she just thinks I'm pretty and doesn't really have her eyes on me. Han Ju thought silently. He wasn't stupid. Even if Xian Qingjun liked him, he wouldn't have a better life. After all, she was the demon lord. How many years had she been roaming the mortal world? How could she fall in love with someone at first sight and give up everything? If Han Ju tried to please her, there would only be one outcome. Slavery. Xian Qingjun came to the cave abode and saw the words on the mountain wall. Endure today, freedom tomorrow. She tried not to laugh. This kid is interesting. Xian Qingjun smiled. But then, her expression suddenly turned serious. These words make sense. Xian Qingjun thought for a moment and left. After she left, Han Ju heaved a sigh of relief. I hope she'll give up the desire for me, Han Ju muttered to himself. The black hell chicken asked, what desire? Han Ju said angrily, my desire to eat you. Ah! That woman wanted to eat you, master. In other words, was that woman stronger than Han Ju? Han Ju had a strange expression and said, in a sense, yes. Chapter 46. Dao Companion, Mystical Power Somersault Cloud. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Because of the pressure brought by the Raincoat sect, Han Ju cultivated even harder. The black hell chicken could only suffer in silence. As Han Ju tried his best to absorb qi, the spirit qi in the cave abode surged into his body. The speed at which the black hell chicken drew in spirit qi was suppressed. 7 years later, Han Ju finally broke through to the 8th level of the nascent soul realm. He still felt that time was tight. If he could break through to the soul formation realm before the Raincoat sect attacked, he would be even more confident. Han Ju absorbed qi while checking his interpersonal relationships. Your friend Zhou Fan was attacked by the Raincoat sect, X87, your disciple Yang Tiandong was attacked by the Raincoat sect, X87, your good friend Mo Zhu was attacked by a fellow disciple. Your good friend Li Qingzi was attacked by a fellow sect member and was severely injured. Why was Li Qingzi attacked by a fellow sect member? Han Ju was stunned. Was there another spy? He immediately checked the Jade Pure sect. Nascent soul realm cultivators were not spies. Wait. Could it be Guan Yu Gang? Han Ju was right. It was Guan Yu Gang. Guan Yu Gang didn't dare to challenge the deity-slaying elder, so he gave up on becoming the sect master. However, he couldn't take it lying down, so he looked for Li Qingzi to spar and took the opportunity to vent. The elders of the sect were extremely displeased with him due to this. The Jade Pure sect was in danger now, but he was still causing trouble. Did he still want to be the sect master in such circumstances? After Guan Yu Gang was scolded, he went into seclusion in anger and no longer showed himself. However, he didn't leave the sect. He obviously had the Jade Pure sect in his heart. Han Ju didn't know any of this. He continued to read the emails. Fairy Shi Xian, Chang Yuer, and Xing Hongxian were all fine. The other good friends were more or less fighting with others, including Xian Qingjun. Xian Qingjun's cultivation was still at the 3rd level of the Foundation Establishment realm. Han Ju suspected that she didn't cultivate at all and only observed others. When Han Ju was thinking to himself, he suddenly sensed a presence. Xian Qingjun. This woman was here again. Is fellow Daoist here? Can I pay you a visit? Hearing Xian Qingjun's voice, Han Ju became nervous. He thought about it. The other party definitely knew that he was here. If he pretended to be out, the favorability might be gone. The other party was the Demon Lord. Her favorability was definitely better than hatred. After thinking, Han Ju opened the cave abode's stone door. Xian Qingjun walked over. She couldn't help but smile when she saw him. Hanju was helpless. The black hell chicken still remembered Xian Qingjuan's aura. It screamed in terror. Please. Don't eat my master. Xian Qingjun was confused. Hanju felt a little awkward. He glared at the black hell chicken, who dared not speak again. She walked in front of Hanju and said with a smile, I'm a disciple of Jade Bamboo Peak, Xian Qingjun. I met you in the inner sect a few years ago and was shocked. From then on, your figure was buried in my heart. I came to visit you rashly this time. I hope that you won't blame me. How direct. Hanju felt awkward and didn't know how to reply. Senior's handsomeness is truly rare in this world, you're simply unparalleled. Junior is willing to offer a treasure. I hope that senior brother won't reject me. Xian Qingjun smiled. With a flip of her hand, a jade piece appeared. Hanju asked curiously, what is this? This is the Heavenly Immortal Abode token. The Heavenly Immortal Abode is the cultivation holy land of the cultivation world. Only by obtaining the Heavenly Immortal Abode token can one cultivate there. Once there, one can reach the nascent soul realm at the very least. Xian Qingjun smiled and explained. She snorted in her heart. I don't believe you won't be tempted. Brat, I want you simply due to your good looks. Hanju shook his head and said, thank you for your kind intentions, Junior. It's just that I don't want to leave the Jade Pure sect. I plan to cultivate in the sect forever. Xian Qingjun froze on the spot. She changed treasures again and said, this is the Earth Spirit Sword. It can easily kill Golden Core Realm experts. Ah. Not enough. I'll give you another bottle of pills to break through to the Golden Core Realm. I'll give you another body tempering cultivation technique. I'll add 3 more spell techniques. Damn. She was really rich. If it was 100 years ago, Hanju definitely wouldn't have been able to resist. He really didn't want to work hard anymore. Hanju hesitated for a moment and said, actually, I'm already at the nascent soul realm. He no longer hit his cultivation level. He revealed his 8th level nascent soul realm cultivation level and then hit it again. Xian Qingjun was shocked. She instantly guessed the truth and asked, you are the deity slaying elder? Hanju nodded. The other party was the demon lord. Since she had targeted him, she would definitely not let this matter rest. Xian Qingjun was even more delighted. She had not expected that her judgment would be so good that she would directly capture the most mysterious and powerful deity slaying elder of the Jade Pure sect. Xian Qingjuan's favorability towards you has increased. Current favorability. For stars, she took out another bottle of pills from her sleeve and said, this is a first-grade nascent soul pill. It can help you increase your cultivation speed. Is 1 bottle enough? If not, I'll give you another. As she spoke, she took out another bottle of nascent soul pills. This time, Hanju really couldn't take it anymore. He carefully asked, Junior, what's your background? Xian Qingjun finally realized that she had been exposed. But it didn't matter now. My identity isn't important. I want to become Dao companions with you. I wonder if senior brother is willing. Xian Qingjun asked with a smile. Hanju frowned and asked, since you can take out so many treasures, you must be extraordinary. Can you help us deal with the Raincoat sect? If the demon lord took action, then it would be safe. Xian Qingjun shook her head. No, I only care about you and not the Jade Pure sect. Could it be that you cultivate for the sect? Hanju remained silent. Indeed. It was not so easy to command the demon lord. But these 2 bottles of nascent soul pills were very fragrant. It was very difficult for him to reject them. If I promise you, what price will I pay? Hanju asked cautiously. Xian Qingjun covered her mouth and laughed. I won't eat you. We'll cultivate together. You'll only become stronger. That's great news for you. Xian Qingjun wants to become your Tao companion. You have the following choices. 1. Reject. How can we male cultivators be threatened by a woman? You will obtain the demon lord's hatred and a sword Tao mystical power inheritance. 2. Accept. The two of you will become Tao companions. You will be affected by karma and providence. You will be able to obtain the favor of the demon lord and obtain a mystical power inheritance. What would happen if you rejected Xian Qingjun? Would the demon lord show up? That was a big shot who was about to ascend. Han Ju sighed in his heart and said, in that case, I will become Tao companions with you. You have successfully become Xian Qingjun's Tao companion. You have obtained a mystical power inheritance. Congratulations on obtaining mystical power. Somersault cloud, somersault cloud. Movement mystical power. One somersault can travel 100,000 miles. Xian Qingjun's favorability towards you has increased. Current favorability. 4.5 stars, somersault cloud. Amazing. Han Ju's eyes lit up. This was a godly escape technique. If the demon lord acted recklessly at this time, he would immediately do a somersault and escape for 100,000 miles. Xian Qingjun smiled and put down the 2 bottles of nascent soul pills in her hand. From now on, you're my cultivation partner. Cultivate well. I'll come to you when I need you. With that, she turned and left. Han Ju couldn't help but ask, other than me, do you have any other Tao companion? Xian Qingjun paused and snorted. How can that be? I don't like mortals. If not for the fact that I needed a companion and that you were extremely handsome, I wouldn't have chosen you. She quickly left. Han Li looked at the 2 bottles of nascent soul pills beside his bed in despair and remained silent for a long time. The black hell chicken asked timidly, Master, will she still eat you? Chapter 47. Reaching the Soul Formation Realm, 10,000 Sword Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios. After Xian Qingjun left, Han Ju opened one bottle. There were 12 pills in each bottle. He first used the 6 Paths Spirit Energy to test it. After confirming that it was not poison, he started to take it. Soon, he was pleasantly surprised to find that the effect was very strong. It was more than twice as powerful as Yi Sanlang's pill. As expected of the demon lord, she was generous. Han Ju held back his surprise and started cultivating. In a dark underground palace. Pa pa pa. The sound of the whip striking flesh could be heard. Yang Tiandong and Zhou Fan were tied to wooden stakes. 2 Raincoat sect members lashed out with their whips, causing blood to splatter all over the ground. Many cultivators who were cultivating in the distance could not bear to watch. Sigh, these 2 from the Jade Pure sect are really stubborn. Yes. Every year, they have to run away and get beaten up. Yet, they don't give up. How pitiful. Why didn't the sect kill them? If we kill them, how will we win their hearts? Actually, it is a good idea to join the Raincoat sect. The cultivators discussed. After a while, Yang Tiandong and Zhou Fan were put down. One had the demon saint's bloodline. The other was the reincarnation of a Mahayana cultivator. At this moment, both of them were gasping for breath. The whips of the Raincoat sect members were not ordinary. They were made from the tendons of some kind of demonic beast. When it struck his body, it was as if a piece of flesh had been torn off by a rake. It was extremely painful. Yang Tiandong lay on the ground and gritted his teeth. This is your plan. We were caught before we even got out. Zhou Fan was extremely aggrieved. His eyes were filled with tears. How many years had it been? They failed to escape every time. Damn it. If I succeed in the future, I will definitely make your sect suffer. Let's stop struggling and wait for Master to come. Yang Tiandong sighed. Master, Master. Why aren't you here yet? 10 years ago, Li Qingzi came and wanted to save them but failed. However, before he left, Li Qingzi sent a voice transmission to him, telling him that Han Ju would come sooner or later and asked him to help stabilize the hearts of the other disciples. It was these words that made Yang Tiandong persist. Zhou Fan said angrily, "Your master is so timid, it's impossible for him to come." He already knew that Han Ju was the deity-slaying elder. Although he was shocked, he understood his personality. This person's talent was indeed terrifying, but he was too afraid of death. A person who was so afraid of death would not save them. If he wanted to, he would have saved them already. Yang Tiandong gritted his teeth and said, "Don't worry, my master will definitely come. He might be secretly watching to see if I can endure this and if my Tao heart is stable enough." Zhou Fan rolled his eyes. He felt that this kid had gone mad. Sigh. Not only him, even Zhou Fan himself could not hold on much longer. 2 years later, Han Ju forcefully broke through to the 9th level of the nascent soul realm. It had to be said that the demon lord's pills were very useful. He had to think of a way to ask for more in the future. At first, Han Ju was worried that Xian Qingjun would look for him often, but he was just dreaming. It seemed that Xian Qingjun was not greedy for his physical body. She had become his companion so that she could use him as her demon lord self in the future. Han Ju didn't dare to trust her completely. Before that, he had to become as strong as possible. What if Xian Qingjun wanted to squeeze him dry? 5 stars of favorability did not mean that Xian Qingjun would not harm him. How many people were killed for love? In his previous life, foreign movies often promoted this spirit, especially those superhero movies. Han Ju began to inherit the somersault cloud mystical power. The somersault cloud's movement distance was related to the spiritual power infused into it. It did not have a fixed distance to travel. After the inheritance succeeded, he would then test it using the strongest person in the Jade Pure sect. The strongest was Guan Yugang, who was at the 2nd level of the soul formation realm. Han Ju continued to search for nascent soul realm cultivators. He heaved a sigh of relief when he didn't find anyone from the Raincoat sect. There was still time. He could continue cultivating and strive to break through to the soul formation realm as soon as possible. Han Ju perked up and continued absorbing qi. A month later, Li Qingzi came to find him. Han Ju frowned and asked, "Is the Raincoat sect here?" He was already close to the soul formation realm, but the enemy came at this time. How annoying. That's not the case. Huang Jihao of the Vermilion Bird Sword sect ambushed the Raincoat sect and ended up being captured by them. The Vermilion Bird Sword sect is furious and wants to join forces with us to attack them. The situation has turned around. Li Qingzi became more and more excited. He really loved Huang Jihao now. This guy really knew how to cause trouble. He had done the right thing this time. Han Ju raised his eyebrows. "Not bad, my little Huang. Then all of you can go. Call Elder Guan over. I'll guard the Jade Pure sect. You can even mobilize all the nascent soul experts. I alone am enough," Han Ju said seriously. Li Qingzi's face twitched. "You're really low. Profile, Han Ju said in a low voice, "I'm about to break through to the soul formation realm. I need time." Hearing that, Li Qingzi's body shook and he was overjoyed. Han Ju could slay a soul formation realm cultivator at the nascent soul realm. When he broke through to the soul formation realm, wouldn't that mean? He dared not imagine. Li Qingzi said excitedly, "All right. You can stay here and break through. Leave this matter to us. Other than the Vermilion Bird Sword sect, other sects should join forces with us. Then, I wish Sect Master success. The two of them did not chat for long before Li Qingzi left excitedly. Before leaving, he played with the Black Hell Chicken. Annoyed, the Black Hell Chicken took advantage of the moment when he turned to peck his ass. Li Qingzi was furious. However, after sensing Han Ju's gaze, he quickly left. Han Ju shook his head and laughed. This cockroach is just like a child. Cockroach was the nickname he had given Li Qingzi. He simply could not be killed. Half a year later, Li Qingzi and Guan Yugang left the Jade Pure sect with a dozen nascent soul elders, core disciples, and elite disciples. This matter caused a huge commotion in the inner sect. Everyone knew that something big was about to happen in the cultivation world. On the other hand, Han Ju came to the Pet Beast Pavilion, took out his elder token, and entered the 10,000 demon realm. He planned on transcending the tribulation there. The soul formation tribulation would cause too much commotion and could easily level a mountain. He didn't want to destroy his Khanate cave abode, so he thought of the 10,000 demon realm. Before coming, he had asked Fairy Shi Xian and she had suggested that he come to the 10,000 demon realm. If he were to face tribulation outside the sect, it would be troublesome if he encountered enemies. After entering the 10,000 demon realm, Han Ju found a plane and meditated. He took out a first-grade nascent soul pill and consumed it. Half a year passed. Han Ju relied on the pills and quickly reached the state of breaking through. He took a deep breath. Before transcending the tribulation, he clicked on interpersonal relationships. Li Qingzi and the rest were still alive. That was good. However, it seemed that some of the elders were gone. Han Ju couldn't remember who they were. After killing Duan Tongtian, many elders had a favorable impression of him. For the time being, nothing major had happened. He could break through. Han Ju immediately perked up and prepared to break through. As the spirit chi of heaven and earth surged into his body, the rolling thunderclouds also began to gather. All the beasts in the 10,000 demon realm became uneasy. A terrifying heavenly might enveloped this small world. With the golden cicada's mystic divine robe and the 6 paths of reincarnation technique, Han Ju's tribulation was naturally nothing difficult. It had to be said that the power of the soul formation heavenly tribulation far exceeded that of the nascent soul heavenly tribulation. Fortunately, the 6 paths spirit energy was strong enough. Han Ju didn't use the burning fiend bell. He wanted to rely on his own strength to transcend the tribulation. Many cultivators died during the tribulation transcendence. Han Ju's potential and cultivation technique naturally wouldn't let him fail. Several days later, Han Ju successfully broke through. First level of the soul formation realm. You have successfully broken through to the soul formation realm and obtained a Sword Dao mystical power inheritance. Congratulations on obtaining the mystical power, 10,000 Sword Sect, 10,000 Sword Sect. Using one's own sword chi to summon the sword shadows of ancient swords in the long river of history. Summoning quantity is related to one's own spirit energy. Han Ju opened his eyes, and the 6 paths spirit energy in his body started to increase. It was like a stream turning into a river, then a sea. At that moment, a shadow flew out from the top of his head. It had his appearance. His essence soul left his body. Chapter 48. The Demon Lord's Gift. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Name: Han Ju, lifespan 158/3007. Race: mortal, cultivation. Level 1 of the soul formation realm, technique. 6 paths of reincarnation, can be inherited, magic. Unparalleled finger divine sword, 7 illusionary steps, 3 pure shadow sword, unparalleled, 9 dragons devil expelling seal, major kiliacosm thunderstorm, wind god technique, mystical power. 6 paths soul absorption, heavenly punishment ghost deity sword, imitate heaven and earth, somersault cloud, 10,000 sword sect, can be inherited, equipment. Golden cicada's mystic divine robe, 7th grade numinous treasure, little universe belt, Qilin sword, demon binding rope, burning fiend bell, 6th grade numinous treasure, cultivation potential. Spiritual physique of the 6 paths. It contains top-notch wind, fire, water, earth, wood, and thunder cultivation potentials. Increases providence to a certain extent. Connate providence is as follows. Unparalleled. Immortal beauty, top-notch charm, destined sword fanatic. Top-notch sword Dao aptitude, top-notch sword Dao learning ability, unparalleled movement technique. Top-notch movement technique aptitude, descendant of the immortal emperor. After the game begins, you will receive an unparalleled cultivation technique and 1000 superior grade spirit stones. Check interpersonal relationships. First level of the soul formation realm. 3000 years of life. Han Ju was pleasantly surprised. The nascent soul realm was only a little over 1,000 years old, but the soul formation realm directly tripled his lifespan. Great! Immediately, Han Ju took out the burning fiend bell and covered himself before continuing to consolidate his cultivation. 2 days later, Han Ju began to inherit the legacy of the 10,000 sword sect. 10,000 sword sect was a large scale killing technique. The heavenly punishment ghost deity sword was more like a straight line attack. Both had their strengths. Relying on his top-notch sword cultivation potential and comprehension ability, Han Ju grasped the 10,000 sword sect in less than half a day. He stood up and left. Arriving at the teleportation formation, the disciples guarding it looked at him with admiration. The commotion from the tribulation was too terrifying. The disciples immediately thought of the deity-slaying elder. Before long, Han Ju returned to his cave abode. The moment it saw him return, the black hell chicken immediately perked up and rushed over. "Master, you're finally back. I thought you were eaten by that woman." Han Ju glared at it and said angrily, "What are you thinking all day with that chicken brain of yours?" "Master, am I not a phoenix?" "But you're a chicken now. Cultivate before you become a phoenix." "Fine." The black hell chicken was stunned. "Cultivate well. How long do I have to cultivate?" Han Ju sat on the bed and continued cultivating. He absorbed qi as he activated the simulation trial. He set Huang Jihao's cultivation level to the 9th level of the soul formation realm. Insta-kill, Han Ju was satisfied. It's settled. When the raincoat sect comes, I'll teach them a lesson. Han Ju thought for a moment and set Huang Jihao's cultivation level to the 1st level of the void amalgamation realm. It took Han Ju 5 minutes to kill him. He frowned. No. Too long. I've to continue cultivating. The smugness in Han Ju's heart dissipated, replaced by a strong sense of danger. If he couldn't insta-kill the enemy would have a chance to turn the tables. In a dark underground palace, Zhou Fan and Yang Tiandong sat in a corner. Paying attention to the raincoat sect members, Zhou Fan asked, "Why are there so few of them?" Yang Tiandong opened his eyes when he heard this, and then he said in a low voice, "Something might have happened." He immediately became excited. "Is Master coming to save me?" Zhou Fan narrowed his eyes and whispered, "Little brother, do you want to escape again?" Yang Tiandong shuddered. "Senior, forget it. Let's just wait for the sect to save us." "Useless. I don't want to be beaten. We cultivators are not afraid of such pain. How can you prove your Tao heart? How can you pursue the path of immortality? I understand, but it's really painful." Yang Tiandong's expression was as if he was wearing a mask of pain. Recalling the torture, he couldn't help but tremble. Zhou Fan was frustrated and felt that Yang Tiandong was useless. Boom! The underground palace shook violently. Li Qingzi's voice followed, "All disciples of the Jade Pure sect, prepare to resist." Kill your way out and destroy the raincoat sect with me. Zhou Fan and Yang Tiandong were overjoyed. They were finally here. A year passed in the blink of an eye after breaking through to the soul formation realm. Han Ju was still in seclusion. Occasionally, he would pay attention to the emails. By the looks of things, the Jade Pure sect and the Raincoat sect were at war. Guan Yugang and Li Qingzi were heavily injured again. It was truly tragic. His disciple, Yang Tiandong, had also been attacked by the Raincoat sect. It seemed that he had already joined the main force, which was why he had been able to keep fighting. Han Ju could only cheer for them in his heart. He had an even more important duty, which was to protect the Jade Pure sect. Now, Han Ju was not worried about the Raincoat sect launching a sneak attack on the Jade Pure sect. Instead, he was worried about enemies far away. What was worth mentioning was that the cultivation of the Black Hell Chicken was already equivalent to a Foundation Establishment Realm cultivator. Its cultivation speed was getting faster and faster. It was lying in a corner like an elephant. Its feathers were extremely magnificent. Although it was a chicken, it had the aura of a divine pheasant. When Han Ju sized up the Black Hell Chicken in satisfaction, Xian Qingjun suddenly came to visit. Seeing her again, Han Ju's expression was very unnatural. Although Xian Qingjun was only at the Foundation Establishment Realm, there was a Mahayana demon lord hidden in her soul that he could not offend. I heard that our deity-slaying elder broke through in the 10,000 demon realm. Xian Qingjun sat beside him and asked with a smile. For the past year, there had been rumors that a mighty figure had transcended the tribulation in the 10,000 demon realm. Even the nascent soul elders did not dare approach. The disciples guessed that it was the mysterious deity-slaying elder. Han Ju was very unnatural. His body was a little stiff. He pretended to be calm and asked, "Why are you looking for me?" Was she going to start? Oh, his virginity. Han Ju panicked. "I'm leaving. I came to say goodbye." Xian Qingjun smiled. Han Ju was stunned. "Leaving?" Xian Qingjun asked, "What do you want before I leave? I'll try my best to satisfy you. I don't know how long it'll be before we meet again." Han Ju asked in surprise, "You're leaving just like that? You're not going to?" Xian Qingjun rolled her eyes at him and snorted. "You seem excited for it, keep dreaming. I need you, but not now. Don't think that I'll stay with you every day. It's not time yet." "That's good." Han Ju heaved a sigh of relief. He almost lost his virginity. He muttered, "Are there any pills that can increase the cultivation of soul formation realm cultivators?" Xian Qingjun immediately took out 4 pill bottles from her sleeve. "These are soul formation spirit enhancing pills. I only have these 4 bottles on me. I'll give them all to you." Han Ju thanked her hurriedly. Xian Qingjun reached out and used her finger to lift his chin. She smiled and said, "I won't be able to bear not seeing your face for many years. However, it's inconvenient for me to bring you along. In the future, you should stay in the Jade Pure sect and cultivate well. Don't run around. The cultivation world is very dangerous. Although you're already at the soul formation realm, you're not invincible." Han Ju nodded unnaturally. Xian Qingjun teased him and left. Han Ju wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. The pressure the demon lord gave him was truly great. It seemed that the demon lord was really only passing by the Jade Pure sect and did not have any ulterior motives. She was probably going to other places to comprehend the Tao and experience the myriad forms of life. Sigh, my damned unparalleled charm. Even the demon lord couldn't resist it. But then again, how fragrant. Han Li looked at the 4 bottles of soul formation stage spirit enhancing pills beside him in joy. After Xian Qingjun left, the Black Hell Chicken said excitedly, "Congratulations, Master. You don't have to worry about being eaten by her anymore. Han Ju couldn't be bothered with it and continued practicing. He wanted to master the 5th level of the 6 paths of reincarnation technique first before taking pills to strengthen his cultivation. Chapter 49. Sect Masters Concern. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Raincoat Sect. In the Sect Master's Palace, several elders stood side by side. All of them had extraordinary auras. They wore black robes and looked like ghosts. In front of them, a man sat on a golden chair. This man wore a white robe. His hair was disheveled, and his skin was fair. However, his face was covered in wrinkles, making him look very old. He was the sect master of the Raincoat Sect, Huang Zuantian. Huang Zuantian frowned and asked, "Does the Vermilion Bird Sword Sect really want to fight us to the death?" The elders immediately replied, "That's right, they're courting death. I suggest that we kill Huang Jihao to intimidate them. Huang Jihao's mouth is too foul. I also feel that it's better to kill him. The Vermilion Bird Sword Sect only wants to save him. There are only 2 soul formation cultivators in the Vermilion Bird Sword Sect, and there are only 2 in the Jade Pure Sect. One of them doesn't dare to come. With this strength, even if they fight for 100 years, they won't be able to take down our small world." Exactly. Hearing the elder's words, Huang Zuantian's brows did not relax. He asked hesitantly, "If they're so fearless, could there be a mysterious force supporting them?" A tall elder couldn't help but say, "Sect Master, you're thinking too much. We're the strongest in the great Yen cultivation world. Don't be so fearful. Can you have some confidence?" Ever since the great battle 1,000 years ago, Huang Zuantian had changed. He always thought of the worst. It was because of his change in personality that the Raincoat Sect had remained hidden for 1,000 years. Now that the sect had become stronger, the elders forced Huang Zuantian to give the order to unite the great Yen cultivation world. However, Huang Zuantian was too cautious. In fact, it could be said that he was cowardly, causing the unification plan to be delayed. If not for Huang Zuantian's orders, those captured disciples would have long died. I suggest that we send 2 elders to attack the Vermilion Bird Sword Sect and the Jade Pure Sect. Their sects will definitely lack combat strength. This is a good opportunity. An elder suggested. His words were approved by the other elders. This was indeed a good opportunity. Huang Zuantian frowned and said nothing. Finally, the elders looked at him, waiting for him to make a decision. Huang Zuantian asked hesitantly, "Must we fight?" "We must fight." "All right, then I'll do it myself. I'm worried about you guys. I'll go to the Vermilion Bird Sword Sect and the Jade Pure Sect myself. Will that do?" Sect Master is wise. The elders laughed, but their smiles were helpless. If the Sect Master went, he would probably stall for time. Several months later, Han Ju had mastered the 5th level of the 6 paths of reincarnation technique and comprehended a new mystical power. More accurately, it was the advanced version of 6 paths soul absorption. He could absorb souls and store them in the depths of his essence soul. This move could protect the soul and also confine it. In addition, he could also leave a 6 paths insignia. The 6 paths insignia would exist forever. No matter how many times the other party reincarnated, it would still remain. It was equivalent to crossing the reincarnation cycle to find the other party. That was good. If he met someone he cared about in the future, he could leave behind the 6 paths insignia and meet them in their next life. The higher his cultivation realm, the more domineering the 6 paths spirit energy became. He took out the pills and continued cultivating. The first level of the soul formation realm was not enough. He wanted to be stronger. His next target was the void amalgamation realm. Han Ju no longer cared about the Raincoat Sect. He was worried about the demon taming sect. He didn't forget about Xiao Yi. This guy's image was still in his interpersonal relationships. He was still as ugly as ever. His hatred was still so great that he wouldn't rest until he was dead. The key was that Xiao Yi was not the sect master. That was ridiculous. How powerful was the demon-taming sect? While Han Ju was worried, Chang Yuer came to visit. To be precise, Fairy Shi Xian invited her. Fairy Shi Xian rarely invited Han Ju, so Han Ju naturally had to give her face. He immediately went forward. When he arrived at the Jade Serene Hall, most of the disciples were present. The eldest disciple, Lu Sanxin, had already finished his apprenticeship and became a core disciple. The current eldest disciple was the seventh senior from back then, Meng He. When Meng He saw Han Ju again, he was a little embarrassed, but he still bowed respectfully. Under his command, the other disciples followed suit. The disciples were puzzled but quickly guessed the truth. There were rumors that deity-slaying elder came from Jade Serene Peak. He was extremely handsome and unparalleled. Could it be this person? They secretly sized him up. They couldn't help but be stunned by Han Ju's appearance. What a handsome man! It was definitely him. All the disciples looked at Han Ju with admiration. Chang Yuer stood in front of him very proudly. She even wanted to hold Han Ju's arm, but he cleverly avoided her. Meng He instructed all the disciples not to reveal Han Ju's identity. The disciples promised. Soon, Fairy Shi Xian arrived, and all the disciples sat down. Han Ju was still sitting at the back. Elder Han, come sit beside me, Fairy Shi Xian said. With a wave of her right hand, a meditation cushion appeared beside her. Han Ju hesitated for a moment before walking over. He sat beside Fairy Shi Xian in puzzlement. What's Master trying to do? Is she going to pass her position to me? No way. It's too troublesome to manage Jade Serene Peak. Han Ju thought worriedly. The sect master has sent a message back. He said that they have already met up with the Vermilion Bird Sword sect and are currently attacking the Raincoat sect. The imprisoned disciples have also been rescued, but he's worried that the Raincoat sect will attack us because they only encountered 5 soul formation experts. The other 5 must have other arrangements. For the time being, I hope that everyone will leave seclusion and patrol the inner and outer parts of the sect. Fairy Shi Xian spoke with a solemn expression. Among the disciples of the 18 peaks, our Jade Serene Peak contributed the least. Other than us, it's also because of the sect master's favoritism towards us. Do you understand? Her voice was very soft, but it made all the disciples feel a surge of strength. Everyone's spirit was ignited. After cultivating for so many years, it was time to draw their sword. Han Ju nodded slightly. He wasn't as excited as the disciples. Fairy Shi Xian glanced at him and asked, Elder Han, are you confident in dealing with the soul formation stage cultivator from the Raincoat sect? The disciples quietened down and looked at Han Ju expectantly. Soul formation was too far away for the disciples. If they were really sent to deal with soul formation stage cultivators, wouldn't that be suicide? Not even their master, Fairy Shi Xian, could do it. Han Ju took in their expressions and finally understood why Fairy Shi Xian looked for him. So it was to calm them down. Sigh, I only wanted to cultivate in secret, but the sect keeps getting beaten up. After thinking about it, Han Ju said, I have experience dealing with soul formation cultivators. He spoke very humbly, but to the disciples, it was domineering. The elder before them had killed a soul formation cultivator before. It was said that it was an insta-kill. The disciples cheered and showed their respect for Han Ju. Alright, you can go and prepare. This matter will be arranged by your eldest senior brother. Also, regarding the deity slaying elder's identity, you're not to spread it. Only the Jade Serene Peak knows about this. Fairy Shi Xian instructed. The disciples bowed and left. Soon, only Han Ju and Fairy Shi Xian were left in the Jade Serene Hall. Fairy Shi Xian tilted her head and looked at him. She asked softly, which level are you at? Stunned, Han Ju asked curiously, what level? Cultivation level. Oh, first level. Why are you still at the first level? Fairy Shi Xian frowned. After being in seclusion for so many years, even with Han Ju's absurd aptitude, he couldn't improve much. Han Ju coughed and said, first level of the soul formation realm. Did Li Qingzi not tell her that he was about to break through? Fairy Shi Xian was stunned. Chapter 50. Attack of the Raincoat Sect, 9th level of the soul formation realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fairy Shi Xian shook her head and laughed, not knowing what to say about Han Ju. This kid. He really knew how to keep people in suspense. Humph, you want to see me make a fool of myself? Looks like you no longer treat me as your master. After all, as your master, I've never taught you anything. Fairy Shi Xian snorted. Han Ju shrugged and said, you asked too suddenly. I didn't take a detour. Besides, I asked you before for a suitable location to undergo tribulation. Fairy Shi Xian shook her head and laughed. How could she have thought that Han Ju would break through to the soul formation realm so quickly? How many years had it been since he entered the nascent soul realm? Then, she continued to ask, if you have any needs, feel free to ask. You have done more for the sect than the sect has done for you. There's no need to be polite. Needs. Han Ju thought for a moment. Is there a cultivation pill for the soul formation realm? No, then try your best to help me strengthen the spirit qi in the cave abode. Yes, I'll think of something. Han Ju had his own cultivation technique and spell inheritance, so he didn't need the teachings of the Jade Pure sect. The reason why he had stayed in the sect was that he had no other good place to go. Instead of wandering around, it was better to cultivate here in peace. After a short conversation, Han Ju got up and left. Fairy Shi Xian looked at his back and asked, how long can you stay in the Jade Pure sect? Han Ju stopped and turned to look at her. Why do you ask? If I wanted to run, I would have run away long ago. Fairy Shi Xian shook her head and said, I'm not afraid that you'll run away. It's just that you've grown too quickly. When the time comes, this small temple won't be able to hold a giant Buddha like you. There are many sects more powerful than the Jade Pure sect in the cultivation world. It is in man's nature to strive for better, especially for ascetics like you. Back then, the founding ancestor left the great Yen to pursue a higher realm. She sighed as she thought of that. Han Ju smiled and said, perhaps. If I really want to leave one day, I will tell you in advance. With that, he turned around and left. To seek the great Tao in a wider world. Nonsense. He'd rather be the peak of this world than the bottom. Feeder of a higher realm. In any case, his potential was top-notch. If he cultivated in peace, he could constantly become stronger. Why would he need to go out and adventure? After returning to the Connate cave abode, Han Ju began to meditate. The black hell chicken suddenly said, Master, I heard the cries of the chickens from the foot of the mountain. When I heard their voices, my heart inexplicably throbbed. I wanted to rush out. Why? Could it be the demonic technique you spoke of? Han Ju raised his eyebrows and said, yes, you must restrain this urge. If you follow it, you will fall into eternal damnation and never become a phoenix. This is a test of the heavenly Tao. Could it be that sexual urge had arrived? It couldn't resist the sound of a hen. The moment the black hell chicken heard that, it tensed up. Its feathers stood up as though it was a rooster about to fight. Thank you for your reminder, Master. I almost fell for it. The path of cultivation is truly fraught with danger. The black hell chicken lamented. Han Ju secretly laughed. Even I'm still a virgin, you can forget about having fun. Just be a child. Forever. Immediately, Han Ju and the black hell chicken entered cultivation. When he was free, Han Ju would instill his ideas into the black hell chicken. Everything was inferior, only cultivation was superior. Cultivators were all superior. A cultivating chicken was a superior chicken among chickens. In the blink of an eye, 2 years passed. Han Ju had yet to break through to the second level of the soul formation realm, but by relying on the pills, he was already approaching it. He did not stop. Instead, he continued to cultivate and strive to break through as soon as possible. One fine day, the Raincoat sect was finally here. It was sect master Huang Zuantian and an accompanying elder. This elder was known as spiritual master Shan Kuei, and he was also in the soul formation realm. Huang Zuantian landed on the top of the mountain and looked warily at the 18 peaks of the Jade Pure sect. Spiritual master Shan Kuei wore a raincoat. Under the brim of his hat, his eyes were extremely cold and contained killing intent. Sect master, attack. Spiritual master Shan Kuei said with disdain. This is the Jade Pure sect. So weak. Not even a single soul formation expert is present. There were less than 10 nascent soul experts left. They were not enough to kill. Huang Zuantian hesitated. Too weak. Could it be a trap? If it were me, I wouldn't dare to attack the Raincoat sect like this. Spiritual master Shan Kuei was speechless. What's there to be afraid of? They're just going all out. Otherwise, they'll be swallowed up by us sooner or later. Huang Zuantian was silent. Seeing how cowardly he was, spiritual master Shan Kuei was furious. If not for the fact that he could not win, he really wanted to snatch the position of sect master. No, I feel uneasy. There's something wrong. Huang Zuantian frowned. Spiritual master Shan Kuei went mad and said in a low voice, Sect master. This opportunity will never come again. If the Raincoat sect is buried in our hands, how can we face the previous sect master? Huang Zuantian frowned. Inside the Khanate cave abode. Raincoat cult is about to invade the Jade Pure sect. Han Ju opened his eyes and immediately inspected the strongest person present. Huang Zuantian. 9th level of the soul formation realm, sect master of the Raincoat sect. He's extremely cautious and doesn't like killing. The sect master was here. Extremely cautious. Doesn't like killing. Han Ju blinked and thought that he had seen wrongly. Was the Raincoat sect really not a fiendish cult? Han Ju no longer thought about it. He cautiously activated the simulation trial and first fought with Huang Zuantian. 3 breaths later, he opened his eyes again. He breathed a sigh of relief. He slowly stood up and prepared to leave the cave abode. The black hell chicken was extremely nervous. Master, are you running away? It quickly stood up and prepared to run. Han Ju said angrily, we'll run away if I can't beat him. Wait here. With that, he turned into a gust of wind and rushed out of the cave abode. Soon, he found Huang Zuantian and spiritual master Shan Kuei. The two were still arguing. Spiritual master Shan Kuei tried to persuade him, but Huang Zuantian stopped him from moving abruptly. Seeing Han Ju flying over, the two of them immediately stopped and looked at him warily. Han Ju stopped less than 100 feet away from them. He looked around curiously and asked, just the two of you? Huang Zuantian's heart raced. This tone. It was indeed a trap. When spiritual master Shan Kuei saw that he was only at the 9th level of the foundation establishment realm but dared to rush over and even said such words, he knew that this person definitely had a cultivation concealment technique. He had naturally heard of the legendary deity slaying elder. Could this person be the deity slaying elder of the Jade Pure sect? However, Duan Tong Tian had just entered the soul formation realm. He was completely incomparable to them. Spiritual master Shan Kuei said in a low voice, isn't the two of us enough? Fellow Taoist is really arrogant. Then, I'll properly test your cultivation. Han Ju ignored him and looked at Huang Zuntian. This was the sect master of the Raincoat sect. He was indeed very imposing. However, his gaze seemed evasive, almost like he was afraid. Han Ju said, "Sect master, I heard that you don't like killing. Why are you targeting our Jade Pure sect?" Huang Zuntian hesitated to speak. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei shouted angrily, "Cut the crap." He suddenly attacked, the silver dagger in his hand shooting at Han Ju. A cold light flashed. So fast. Ding. The silver white dagger was repelled just as it was about to touch Han Ju, as if it had hit an invisible bell. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei's pupils widened. He was about to cast a spell and prepare for his next move. Han Ju raised his hand at lightning speed. The three pure shadow sword materialized out of thin air and charged toward Spiritual Master Shan Kuei. Spiritual Master Shan Kuei instinctively dodged, but the three pure shadow sword was too fast. It was so fast that even he, a soul formation cultivator, could not dodge in time. Boom! Spiritual Master Shan Kuei was directly killed and his body turned into a bloody mist. Huang Zuntian's eyes widened in shock.